Hi, Claudia.
Hello.
This is Claudia Gadotti, my wonderful illustrator for Emeline, A Journey. And also she did the recent cover for the Bandana Acres Journal, my Bandana Acres Journal, which I love because she gave so much personality to those little characters, especially the fox. I just love the fox. But anyway, I digress. The Claudia is a wonderful artist, and I thought you might like to get to know her. And she lives in New Zealand. And so we are talking from Kansas City at 8 o'clock at night, and it's 1 o'clock tomorrow where she lives, which is weird to think
Yeah.
about. Another thing that's weird to think about is that we are in late summer here, and you are in late winter.
Yep.
Yes. So it's like so different.
Yeah.
But
We
it's
start
really
spring now, almost.
almost
Almost.
spring. Yep, we're almost to fall. It's still hot. It's still in the 80s and 90s and hot. And we have cicadas, and all that noise. And
Mhm.
yeah. So anyway, I'd love to visit, but it's so far.
No,
Probably
it's not that far. It's not that far.
no.
We go to
Well,
the United States all the time. So, well,
maybe
we used
someday. Maybe someday. But anyway, this is Claudia. Claudia, tell us a little about you and how you came to want to be an artist and a little bit about yourself.
Oh, well, I think I always wanted to be an artist since I was a child. Um, I used to I used to draw all the time when I was in school, and I remember I used to doodle, kind of do little drawing when during class. And I remember my teacher get mad at me all the time because she thought that just because I was drawing, I wasn't listening. And
Mm,
actually, for me, it was the opposite.
yeah.
Do helped me actually listen even more. But I remember, yeah, but I always loved drawing and doing art. Always, it's so always something that I I loved.
And you're not originally from New Zealand either.
No, I'm from Italy.
What? From Italy. So
Yeah,
you're Italian. So
yeah.
tell us a little bit about that journey from where you started and how you got to New Zealand.
Okay. You have to know that when it was time for me to choose what to do when I was a teenager, I wanted to go to art school. My parents didn't let me go because they thought that if you go to art school, all the artists are starving artists. So they say you're not gonna make a living with art. So I started a different school. They kind of convinced me to go to nursing school. And I went to nursing school and I actually worked as a nurse for 4 years.
Oh,
Uh, And that's the reason I admire nurses so much, is because it's such a hard job. And all your heart is there, or you're using a job that you don't do forever. And so in my early 20s, I started thinking of way that I could find something different to do. And so I actually went for a year in London, and I just wanted to learn English pretty much and say, oh, I can do something with English. And so I went to London and I lived a year there. And then I heard about California. And so I said, oh, I can go and do the au pair in California for a little while. And so that's what I did. I went to California and I went as au pair. And when I was there, in San Francisco, there was the school I was really interested in it, which is an art school, but it was also school. It wasn't just art; it was preparing you for a profession in arts.
mhm.
And so I decided to go back to university, and I went back there, and I went to Academy of Art University in San Francisco, and then I met my husband, which is a New Zealander, and eventually moved here to New Zealand, and that's how I ended up here.
Yep. And you love it there. You've been there a long
Yes,
time.
yes, it's very quiet. And actually, the beginning was very hard because used to Europe and to California, I found New Zealand very too quiet.
Mhm.
But now I really love it. It's nice. It's nice. There's lots of greens. It's a nice place to live in. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Okay. And so let's talk about your artwork. Well, some of it is here on my wall. For those who haven't already seen, there's other books that she's done artwork for. This is one I got because I love this one, and it's a really cute story too.
Yeah.
It's kind of like corduroy bear, kind of, sort of, not really, more like velveteen rabbit, I guess.
Yes. It's
But
closer to that.
one of my
Yeah.
favorite illustrations in here, and it's funny how none of these are color, it's just
Yeah.
printed in black and white, but I noticed that even the ones that you've done for me, even if they were black and white, they're still beautiful.
But that one I did it in black and white, actually.
Yeah,
Where
this one, I just love this image
yeah.
because it really shows like how fluffy the bear is and how smooth and shiny the robot is.
Yeah.
It's really cute.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I like this book. And show us some others that you have done.
Oh yes, I have. I have this one.
Uh-huh.
This is owl, and this one. This is one of my first book I did, actually. It was probably a couple of years. Yes, and a couple of years after I graduated, I think I did this one. I just moved to New Zealand, and it's actually got reprinted recently, and it's about the magic owl.
Okay.
And the illustration are quite. I love the illustration in this book. Show you some. The winter one. It's about owl bringing book to children.
Oh, uh-huh.
The kid book, yes. Then what else do I have? I have this one. This one actually is one of my latest one, and it's a cute book. It's about a seagull and a fisherman that rescued the seagull that was injured, and he brought him to the wildlife. Let me see a cute picture. See.
Oh, that's
quite realistic, quite realistic picture he wanted, eh? So he is releasing the seagull into wild.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, a cute book.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a cute relationship between this man and the seagull. And what else do I have? I have quite a few. I have way too many. Oh, this is it's printed here in New Zealand, and it's about epilepsy and a little girl that has epilepsy, and it's actually written in two languages, English and Maori.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and it's a cute book, this one too.
Okay.
I have too many.
I asked Claudia to show us her art space where she does her work, but she won't show me that. No.
Also because we are about to do an extension to the house, and so right now actually my office is becoming the storage room for everything.
No. So it's not just messy with art.
No, it's messy with everything.
Okay.
But I start working on the kitchen table because my office I cannot even go in there anymore.
Oh dear. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what do you do besides artwork and fixing your house? What else do you do?
I teach art in a primary school. I teach actually after school program, and it's actually quite popular in the school where I teach it. And I'm there. I'm in one school 3 days a week, and in another school 2 days a week. And I designed this program in which through art, I try to teach other topics like science, culture, physics, little things like that. And the kids love them. Yeah.
That's nice. Okay.
Yeah.
So all different ages?
Yeah, so usually it's primary school, so it's between 6 to 12 year old. Mm-hmm. And we work on one art project all term. So here in New Zealand, we have 4 terms in that school year, and every term we work on one.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So what's your favorite, in art, you have different mediums. So there's different kinds of paint. There's pencil, there's what else? There's lots of different ways to put things on paper. What's your favorite?
It's not that I have one favorite. I have more than one favorite. Like, for example, the book that you had there, the Salomon Bear book, the cover was done with gesso and Canon dash, which is water soluble pastel. Yeah, but the inside picture were done with charcoal.
Oh,
And I thought, yeah.
so let me find another picture besides that one I showed already. So here he is
Yeah.
looking out a window.
Mm-hmm.
That's charcoal.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, they're all done in charcoal. So, and I love to work in charcoal. I kind of get bored to do always the same thing. That's the reason I'm probably being an illustration is good for me, because I'm always working in different things, in different books and in different medium. And it's otherwise I get bored to do always the same job. Yeah, I'm not very good.
Okay.
I'm staying there and doing the same thing and over and over.
Yeah.
So yes.
Okay.
And then there is another. Sometimes I use gouache.
I think you used
Yeah.
gouache with the ones for Emeline.
Yeah.
That was gouache. Those are so good.
Yes,
And what
for example, for the seagull one, I use the same technique that I use for the cover of Salomon. So it depends. It really depends on what. So usually I read the book and I see what inspires me, and I go for the medium that inspires me.
Good. I'm glad that people give you the freedom to style it the way you think it should.
Usually they don't come and ask me to use a specific medium. They never do. Maybe they come and ask me more like they want a more realistic than cartoony, but yeah.
Okay. Well, do you have any advice for, let's say, a child that might be watching this right now, or not a real small child, but a kid who might like art, but maybe, they don't know what they can do?
Well, I actually have to say one thing. I think now it's easier to become an illustrator than it was many years ago. Many years ago, the only way that you had to work as an illustrator was through a publisher, a good publisher. And you had to bring your portfolio. You had to have a portfolio. You had to bring your portfolio with you. You had to meet with the art director and things like that. Now with the internet and with so many people self-publishing, it's not anymore so hard and so competitive like it used to be. So I actually find it that now these days is easier. In fact, I probably wouldn't be able to be an illustrator if it wasn't for the internet, because once I moved here to New Zealand, in New Zealand, there is not many publishers. So I wouldn't have been able to keep going as an illustrator, but because the internet and doing all my work from home and then just be scanned and sent out.
It's amazing, isn't it? That you can just send me a picture.
Exactly.
It's amazing.
Exactly. Instead, in the old times, you have to send your artwork to the publisher, and the publisher, and now it doesn't work anymore like that. And also the self-publishing is so big now.
Yeah.
There is lots of good writers out there, and they just choose to self-publish.
Yep. Well, thank you for visiting with us, and just, I guess if you're interested in art, just keep doing it. Just keep doing it.
Yeah. And it's still a competitive job, and you don't make lots of money. Don't think you're gonna get rich out of it, because
I guess it's kind of like books. It's like you're working at the school, and that helps pay for things too.
Exactly.
So if you can even do it in that way, even if you're just still doing art, but you're not doing it, you can do different things.
Yes.
So, okay.
Yes, I would. Yes, it's something that also because, to be honest, you cannot be there doing art all day long. It's very draining. So usually I don't work on my illustration. I work on my illustration 3-4 hours a day. I cannot do more than that. So yeah.
Okay.
That's the reason you need another job.
All right. Well, thanks for visiting with us. I'm going to stop the recording, and I will, if you want to get a hold of Claudia, her website is currently having an issue. She's going to figure
Yeah.
that out. So if you want to get a hold of her for either artwork or anything like that, just come through me, and then I can give you her contact information from that. And later on, I can update this and put her website back on as soon as she figures out what happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, thanks a lot.
You're welcome.